Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. A lot's happened the last couple of days. Over the weekend, I decided to get rid of the spikes on the dually, so I took a ride out to Mesa, out to Michael's Truck Works, swapped out my lug nuts, and while I was out in Mesa, I decided to give Rick a call and check out the back of the place. It was pretty cool. He gave me a tour of the shop and showed me how some of the things are made around there, which is totally incredible how they do all that stuff. But I want to show you guys some of that footage, and then we're going to lead into the video, and I'll see you guys at the end of the video to close this out.
Turn right onto
Alright, we've got our new lug nuts. We're off to our next stop. All right, good progress today in the shop. I actually got my hood jammed out. I got my rear roll pan painted. Tomorrow, I'm just gonna pick out some more parts and try to get those knocked out while I'm still waiting to get the dually over into the bodywork stall. I still got the handles to do, all 5 of them. I got the mirrors to do. I got the back of the tailgate to do, and I got the tailgate jam to do. And I could do all that probably, hopefully this week. So that's my goal. I know we got Larry's truck, 320, 400 grit. That's where it's going right now. The roof's all in 400. Slowly working our way around it, making sure everything's dialed in on that. Lots more progress on Stevens and some progress on Victor's truck as well. So we're just going to keep plugging away throughout the week and we'll see what happens. Alrighty, another run in the booth for my dually. As you guys can see here, my door handles, mirrors, tailgate handle, the little thingies that hold the windows in on the front windows. I decided to shoot those body color too. They normally are black on most of them, but I decided I wanted to paint them and make them kind of go away. I also got the tailgate, the inside prep, the jam. I got to do a bunch of seam sealer work in here, so I'm going to get all this stuff cleaned up, then I'll mask this up, mask up the stands, and then start seam sealing before I mix it with sealer. Okay, everything in here is ready to rock and roll. Tailgate's been seam sealed, masked up, cleaned, handles, mirrors, everything's ready to go. So I'm going to go mix up some sealer, suit up, and come in here and get this stuff painted. Alrighty, it's time to make some paint. But first, before I make some paint, I just want to talk about this TPS cup and why I tape them. I've had a lot of people ask me, not just on YouTube, but on our Instagram and Facebook page. But the reason why I tape them up is, well, it all started when I used to work for somebody that was super cheap. And he never purchased any PPS cups, so I always had to reuse them. But as you can see, even when you blow them off, stuff still wants to fall off them sometimes. And I've actually had it happen before. So I like to tape them up so they're nice and clean. And then I don't have any debris land inside my paint. I know, yeah, you can go and order a couple of them at a time and keep replacing them. But when you're a collision painter or in a collision shop, that could be pretty pricey. A lot of times in collision shops, especially in today's world, you really only get a chance to make money the first time it goes in the booth. So anything you can do to prevent overhead from getting higher than it should be, you want to do. So reusing your PPS cups is definitely one of those things. Nothing wrong with it. There's no reason why I can't reuse it. And back in the day, for a while there, you would buy a box of the cups and they wouldn't come with a new cup in the refill box. So you definitely wanted to keep your old ones, or you were buying a box of 3 or a box of 6 or whatever the box was. So over the years I've collected, I probably have 100 of these cups, and I use them from anywhere from sealer to primer to base to clear. I try to use the newer ones for clear when we get them, but there's nothing wrong with this, and just a little bit of tape and now it's as good as new again. And that's why I do that. So you guys out there that were curious why I tape my cups, that's why. It helps prevent debris from falling out. Yes, you can blow them all off and everything else. I've done that as well. I do that as well. But sometimes that one little piece that didn't come off of there For some reason, it wants to come off of there when you're painting something. I've had it happen, so this is just a way for me to have a little bit of extra insurance and save a few bucks. All right, so I'm done rambling about this. Now comes my favorite part. I'm gonna make some sealer. Okay, let's start with Larry's truck here. Larry's truck is almost all prepped up to 400 grit. We still have the hood left to do and the bottom portion of the other side, and then everything on this truck is in 400 grit. Once we get to that stage, we'll get everything unmasked, we'll get everything wiped down and clean, we'll look it over. We're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna prep the rest of this stuff, because we are gonna be pulling the doors after we apply the base coat and the candy coat to clear it. So we'll have to get a game plan together with this before we put it into the booth. Once it's in the booth, we can start getting it masked up, and then we're gonna have to do a couple small little spot primes here and there just where we broke through, but we'll do that in the booth just before we start getting this thing finalized for paint. So possibly end of this week, it'll be going to the booth. That's the game plan. Hopefully we'll get there, fingers crossed. Let's take a look over here at, well, let's look right here at these doors for Steven's truck, and then we'll talk about Steven's truck. So we got Steven's truck blown all apart. We've started on the doors, getting everything prepped so we can do the body work. Everything's been bonded after it was welded and then glassed. Once we get everything glassed, we'll go back through with regular filler, skim, block, sand, all that stuff, and then glaze it out. We are gonna have to do the doors, pretty much all of it, except for this small little section where the door panel goes. He wants to keep original looking inside, but we gotta make sure the rest of it's straight. It is going satin, so it's just gotta be smooth. It don't have to be super razor straight, because you won't see as much of it with the reflection, but we still gotta make sure it's nice, because you do see lines with satin color way more than you do with shiny color. Once the doors are done, then they can get set back on and double checked with the cab and the front cowl section there to make sure all that stuff lines up good. We may have to do some body work in there just to kind of clean up and straighten out the edge. Speaking of body work, we'll take a look at the truck. Since it's all blown apart, Taylor's also got the cowl section just about done, and he has bonded the inside jambs. So what you see him doing right here with the fiberglass filler, he will also be doing inside the jambs after. So we're gonna make all the jambs on this thing super nice, super smooth. So as you can see here in the jambs, that's what he's already started doing right here. He'll have to carry this all the way up and around, both jambs. But as you can see also, it's quite an extensive process. I mean, everything on this truck is built, body worked, pulled apart, body worked, built, cleaned up, pulled apart, body worked, and so on until we get this thing perfect to where it needs to be before we can prime it. We are getting closer. Again, to the untrained eye out there, it may or may not look like we're getting very far, but we are actually on all the details now, and the details take time. So once all this stuff inside of here is body worked and looking good, the doors will get put back on. Once the doors are back on, he'll check to make sure the gaps are good. You see he's gone and used fine line tape because this will also help with not over sanding, because that's a big problem you have with doing the body work and then trying to match everything up is you can over sand. So the fine line tape will help, but we still need to get the truck back together to double check everything. I'm sure there's gonna be a spot or two, it always happens. And then we'll have to dial all that stuff in. And once we get it really, really good, then it can come apart. And then we can proceed with the inside and with also priming the exterior. I know we're gonna shoot primer underneath the hood pretty soon because that's just about done, but we are still in the detail process with the 6400 for Steven. All right, let's talk about Victor's truck quick before I get out of here. So Victor's truck is really taking shape. Let's see what's left on this thing. We've got to dial in the gaps from the hood to the cowl. A little bit of cleanup here and there, but for the most part, the gaps are looking really, really good. The panel-to-panel fitment is looking fantastic. The truck is looking really, really straight from the cab forward. The game plan is still to get the cab forward in primer, so hopefully, man, fingers crossed, hopefully by the end of this week, we can be done with this cab and be putting it into primer. So let's hope for that. This way we can stop on that and start pressing on our other paint projects, which would be the shop truck dually and Larry's C10 as well. We're planning to make a push to have both of those land at Dino's Get Down this year, and I know that's coming up fast. So a lot of blocking, a lot of painting, a lot of buffing to make that happen, and a lot of assembly. Plus we got to be able to get Larry's truck over to Steve at Elevated Design so he can work his magic. Plus Jeremy has to fine tune it. There's a lot that needs to get done to that truck before it can make its way over to Dino's. So hopefully all the stars align and we can make that happen. I'm done rambling. I'm tired. I'm ready to get out of here. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time on the next video.